You should be able to stand up out of a seat and stand up straight and be able to walk without any problem. But if you're watching this video, you probably feel like it's impossible to stand up straight anymore and you're constantly bent over. In this video, I'm going to explain what you can do to improve this situation so you can get rid of the back pain that's stopping you and you can build the strength you need to be able to stand up straight and walk like a normal functioning human being. It doesn't matter how old you are, we're gonna do this. So let's get ready to think right, move right, and feel right. You may have noticed that your problem is much worse when you have to get up off of the sofa. You feel like your low back is just like, oh my God. And no matter how much you will it, you can't seem to get your tail to tuck under. And even if you can, it just feels super awkward. So let's break down the anatomy of this situation. When you're sitting, you look like this from the side. There are muscles that connect your thigh bones to your spine. Those are called your hip flexors. One of the big ones is called the psoas muscle. That's spelled P-S-O-A-S for reasons I don't understand. There are also thigh muscles that attach to the pelvis that also help hold the thigh and pelvis in this position. There are some muscles on the back side called the hamstrings, and there's also your butt muscles on the back of your pelvis that also will attach to your thigh bone. The muscles in the back are the ones that help open up the angle of your legs away from your spine. When you sit for a long time, the muscles on the front basically stiffen up and get really used to holding this position. The muscles on the backside are getting crushed from your own body weight all day long. Muscles that are constantly crushed are not happy. They get weaker, they atrophy, and atrophy aches. If you allow muscles to atrophy, you end up with AI, which is short for atrophy-induced immobility. And that's what we're dealing with when we're sitting and go to stand and we can't stand up straight anymore. So now I'm gonna show you two exercises that are gonna help you unstiffen and unglue those muscles in the front and are gonna wake up the muscles in the back so that you can stand up straight like a normal human being. Hey, I also want to ask you, when did you notice that it started getting harder and harder to stand up straight? What have you done about it? What has your journey been like to get to this video? Drop me a comment down below. With this first exercise, you're going to get real familiar with your couch. You're the one who caused this problem and you're going to help me fix it. You're going to go to the armrest of your couch and you're going to put your thigh directly against the armrest. You're going to have your other leg either just on the ground or up on the couch, and you're gonna stabilize yourself. Use the wall, use furniture, use whatever you need. And then you're going to just lean pressure in on your thigh against the armrest, and then you're gonna slowly bend that knee. So what you're doing is actually asking the quads to get longer and to relax while you're putting pressure on the muscle. This is telling your quads to chill out, and it's gonna help your quads relax and lengthen so that they're no longer trapping you in that bent over position. You don't need to push super hard into the couch, just make sure you feel like it's a bit of a challenge, like you can feel that there are muscles who are just really stiff and tight and complaining and really don't like this. Move around to different parts of your thigh wherever you feel something a little bit stiff and sore, and just see if you can calmly breathe while you flex and extend your knee. You're just trying to loosen things up. Do one side. Test it out. See how you feel. You might feel a little lopsided. After 1 or 2 minutes of horrible, painful massage on that one leg, go ahead and switch to the other leg. You're going to push it up against the armrest, and again, once you feel ready, flex that knee nice and slow. Make sure you feel stiff muscles learning how to deal with this, and then go ahead and slowly extend again. Anywhere you find stiffness and tightness in that thigh is all good. Just keep working on loosening it up. You don't want to feel any sort of jamming, ripping, tearing, pain, whatever in the knee or around the kneecap. Make sure you adjust the pressure, lighten it up. Just make sure you feel the meaty muscles complaining. You don't want to feel joints complaining about this. Again, spend 1 to 2 minutes on that leg. Search all around your thighs for any meat that just feels like it needs to be mashed. I also want to mention that if you are somebody who has very bony thighs and you don't really have much meat to massage, then don't spend a bunch of time smashing your bones. Smashing your skin into your bones is not going to actually help you. So if you are somebody who obviously has no muscle on your thighs, then don't waste your time doing massage. But how will I know if I have no muscles? You don't need a degree or a medical education to know whether or not you have muscle on your body. Pinch it, feel it. If you don't feel any meat, then you don't have any muscle. If you feel just a thin layer of muscle, but you can feel the bone right under it, then you don't have much muscle. It's like you're at the butcher shop. You're not gonna wanna buy the piece of meat that's just like flabby and thin and doesn't have any sort of texture to it. You want the nice, thick, juicy steak. All this talk about meat makes me a little bit hungry, and it reminds me that I want to show you a way to actually stretch some of those muscles on the front of your hip as well before I show you the strength exercise that's going to help you stand up straight. You are going to help me with this one also. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Verena, Michael, and Mithrin for becoming Stabilizing Muscles supporting members of the Upright Health YouTube channel. If you want to support me too, use the join button or the thanks button or the Patreon and PayPal links that you'll find down in the description box. Now let's get back to it. Remember I mentioned the psoas muscle, which attaches from here, goes up around the front of your pelvis to the front of your spine. We want to make sure that muscle learns how to lengthen so that we can stand up straight. Stand facing your couch and put your foot up on it. If you have one of those really tall couches that seem to be really popular these days and you feel like you're way out of balance because it's just so high up, then use a stair, a step, use a stool or the bottom portion of a ladder so that you feel a little more stable and controlled. You can also use a stick to help you balance. So you've got your foot up on whatever surface you're using, and then you're going to squeeze your butt cheek, really try to talk to that butt cheek, and then you're going to shift your pelvis forward. Only go as far as you can go without feeling like your lower back is going into a heavy arch or that your abs are really allowing your ribs to open up and face up towards the ceiling. You want to try to keep the ribs down, this little chest piece here, your breastbone, keep it down. Keep your low back as flat as you can and then shift forward. You may feel stretching a little bit on the thigh, you may feel it towards the groin, and that is a-okay. You're trying to get more into that groin sensation, a little more towards the inside edge of the front of your thigh. That's gonna be hitting your hip flexor muscles. Hang out here, hang out for at least 30 seconds, hopefully 60 seconds, and just breathe and relax and relax. And if you can go longer as your body gets more used to this, go for it. Go for 60 seconds, go for 90 seconds, go for 2 minutes. Just stay calm, stay in a range of discomfort that still feels doable. I don't want you to feel like you're ripping your leg bone out. I want you to feel like you are simply gradually stretching out those stiff, meaty fibers. You're not trying to tear the bone off of the chicken. You are just trying to gently stretch out those little bands that bind. After you've done the first side, you can kind of move around and feel how asymmetrical you are, and then you can go back to the other side. Same deal, foot goes up on your surface, butt cheek engaged, abs are engaged, low back stays flat, ribs don't flare up, they just stay down, and then you start shifting forward, feeling the stretch on the thigh slash inner thigh so that you get that nice hip flexor stretch. Again, hold it for 30 to 60 seconds, and then as you get better, start holding it for longer. What we've now done is taken this psoas muscle, which attaches from here to here, and asked that muscle to lengthen, which allows us to stand up straight. Something my friend Boney McBonerson here should be doing since it's already noon. Which now brings us to the third exercise, which is gonna help you build up some of your butt and hamstring strength. You're gonna need a weight to do this exercise. It doesn't have to be a dumbbell, but I do highly recommend you get some dumbbells so that you can get stronger progressively over time, safely and easily at home. If you don't have any dumbbells at home right now, then use something that weighs around 3 to 5 pounds to start, and then get yourself to a sporting goods store or go on some website called Amazon and order yourself some normal dumbbells, or if you're gonna be really smart and think about the long term, then get yourself some adjustable dumbbells. You're gonna take your dumbbell, you're gonna put it on the couch. You're gonna face the dumbbell, you're gonna pick it up from wherever it is and stand up. When you're standing up, I want you to focus on feeling your butt and your hamstrings. Because you've been sitting so much on your butt and hamstrings, this might be a little difficult. You may feel like you can't feel your butt and hamstrings, and that's okay. I guarantee the more you practice this and the more weight you get comfortable with, the more you're gonna be able to feel these butt and hamstring muscles working. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can pick up the weight and hold on to it and just continuously do the exercise, focusing on keeping the spine in a neutral, unchanging position while you go up and down. Or you can practice this by putting it back down, standing up, coming down, and picking up. No matter what, when you're doing this, I don't want the shape of your spine to change. The orientation obviously changes, right? So when I'm doing this, my spine is now angling and pointing towards the wall, and then when I stand up, it's pointing towards the ceiling, but the shape of the spine itself is not changing. I'm not curling my spine or arching my low back like that. I'm trying to keep the shape here the same as all the motion happens at my hips. Now, you might notice that you're a little stiff in the hamstrings. You might feel like, whoa, I can't really even come down to grab the weight because my hamstrings are so stiff. That's fine. Bend your knees a little bit and then go ahead and grab that weight and come up. And then at the top, see if you can straighten out, squeeze your butt, straighten your knees, and then before you go back down, you can bend your knees a little bit, keep the spine shape the same, slowly lower down and put it down. The key here is to get your body used to this motion. This is called a hip hinge. You're doing a little bit of a bow. You're learning how to take your hips into flexion, which is this kind of sitting orientation position where your thigh bone and your spine are being brought closer together, and then doing the anti-sitting position, which is squeezing the butt and hamstrings to lift up and out. There's no rush to use a ton of weight. There's no rush to get a whole big amount of range of motion. And do it all slowly, because slow is safe and fast is foolish. When you first start with this exercise, you might feel like you only have a couple degrees of controllable motion, and that's maybe just the unfortunate reality for you. But as you get better at it, you're going to want to expand by forcing yourself to go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then squeezing those butt and hamstring muscles to stand back up. To get more results from this exercise, you can add weight, which is where adjustable dumbbells are handy. So you could conceivably start with a dumbbell that's just 5 pounds, and that same dumbbell could be made a little bit heavier to 8 pounds, 10 pounds, 12 pounds, and then you could grab another dumbbell and hold on to it, and then you're really talking about moving some considerable weight. And then when you want to get much stronger, you use bigger dumbbells. But what if I don't want to get really bulky like a bodybuilder? I promise that doing these exercises is not going to make you bulky like a bodybuilder. I suggest you start off with this exercise doing 2 sets on your first day of 5 to 10 repetitions. Then the next day you can do 1 to 2 sets again of 5 to 10 repetitions. You don't need to make this a really huge, gargantuan, Herculean task. You just want to start reminding your body that, hey, this is something that we should be able to do. After a week of doing 1 to 2 sets every day, you can consider bumping up the weight, you can consider adding more repetitions, you can consider doing more throughout each day. What I don't want you to do is do 5 sets of 20 on your first day, because I guarantee you're gonna hate yourself and you're gonna hate me. But really, I just told you not to do it, so it's not my fault, so you can just turn that hate right back at yourself. Besides doing this weighted hip hinge every day, I would encourage you to just practice bowing. Practice this hip hinge motion throughout the day. You don't have to use weight, but you do want to remind your hips, remind your hip and leg muscles and spine muscles that this is a motion that you're gonna be using regularly. That's gonna help you develop the flexibility, strength, and coordination you need to do the weighted hip hinge safely and effectively. It also means if you ever travel to Japan, you'll be able to give people a proper courteous bow. What about the massage and the stretching? How often should I do that? You can do the massage 3 days a week. I wouldn't suggest doing it every single day. And I also want to remind you that if you don't have meat on your bones, then don't waste your time massaging your bones. Also, massage will have a limited period where it is super useful for you. Some people who have very meaty muscles are gonna feel like, wow, I haven't massaged these and that's why they're so tight. But massage is not gonna fix the problem alone. Massage will just help you be a little more malleable and flexible so that when you do the stretches, you'll get a little more bang for the buck. If you have really stiff, dense thigh muscles, then the massage can really help unlock range of motion and reduce that lower back pain that stops you from being able to stand up straight. Over time though, you're probably gonna find massage can just drop to like once a week, once every 2 weeks, if that. For the stretches, you can do them 2 days a week and then gradually work yourself up to whatever amount feels like it helps you. If you spend a lot of time sitting, you may find that doing the stretching every day or even multiple times a day can be really, really helpful. When we sit and shorten up those muscles, it can be really helpful to remind them to lengthen again. The key here is always not to cripple yourself with soreness. Start with a pace that feels doable. If that's just 2 days a week right now, that's totally fine. Do your massage, do your stretching, and do your strength work, and then enjoy the rest of your day or even the next couple days before you do it again. But over time, you want your body to get used to this lengthening and strengthening so that you maintain that length and strength for the long run. For more videos that'll help you age comfortably and live pain-free, check out these here. To support this channel, use the PayPal or Patreon links in the description box or the join or thanks buttons here on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe with the bell notification on, and as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.